I will discuss to you the background of the problem, conceptual framework, and as well as research hypothesis. Remember yung sinabi ni Doc Leonilo dun sa first session natin last week, no? We are not competing with DepEd. Hindi po tayo nakikipagkompetensya sa DepEd. Pero itong initiative na ito ng Beyond Books Publishing ay ginagawa natin upang maging supplemental sa DepEd. Sabi nga ni Doc noong nakaraan, no, ginagawa natin tong talk na ito para kahit papaano magkaroon ng perspective at background yung mga estudyante sa paggawa ng research. Para pag halimbawa, talagang dinidiscuss na ito within the class, kahit papaano yung mga estudyante, no? Especially kayo, my dear students, meron na kayong baon-baon, no, na pwedeng maisagot sa mga teachers, no, pwedeng ma-share within the classroom setting para at least mas maging smooth at mas madali yung paggawa ng ating research. Okay, so let's discuss first the background of the problem, no? So what is background of the problem? According to University of Southern California, it identifies and describes, take note, the history and nature of a well-defined research problem with reference to the existing literature. Nakita niyo po yung connection? History, and at the same time, we have this existing literature. Maybe not exactly, but maybe in the past. Baka itong problem na gusto mong targetin ay napag-usapan na before. Baka nagawa na ng study before, but in different perspective compared sa perspective na ginagawa mo po ngayon. Now, what's the purpose? Its purpose is to ascertain a framework. Ang ganda ng keyword, no? Framework. Kumbaga parang sandigan yan, no? For the research, so that the readers can understand how it is related to other researches or studies. Although it is very important na dapat naiintindihan natin yung ginagawa nating research. Pero higit sa lahat, dapat maintindihan din ng mga readers mo. Halimbawa kung magde-defend kayo, no, my dear students, dapat maintindihan ng professor mo kung bakit mo gustong gawin itong study na to, kung ano ang mapapala natin kapag binigay natin or ginawa natin itong study na ito. Again, related to other researches or studies. Take note of the keyword, history. This part should indicate the root of the problem. So, kumbaga, di ba, sabi nga anong hugot mo dito? Bakit mo gustong bigyang diin itong problemang ito? Anong pinaguhugutan ng research mo? Anong pinagmumulan ng research mo? We are talking here the root of the problem. Being studied, appropriate context of the problem in relation to theory. Later on, pag pumunta tayo sa framework, we have what we call theoretical and conceptual framework. Baka naman kasi, yung research na gagawin mo, mayroong appropriate theory na pwede nating magamit para mas maging supplemental, no, itong ating gagawing research. Its scope and the extent to which previous studies, tignan niyo po yung mga binabanggit ko po, no, lagi nabanggit previous studies have successfully investigated the problem, noting where gaps exist that your study attempts to address. In teacher's perspective, no, kapag nag-check po ako ng mga action research ng mga co-teachers ko po, sa introduction part, tinitignan ko na kaagad or hinahanap ko na kaagad ano ang gap of the study. When we say gap, ibaba mo to sa level mo. Di ba? Mahalaga pa lang, sa simula pa lang, makita natin kung bakit mo ginagawa ito and at the same time, ano ang konteksto ng ginagawa mong research paper. Ano ang konteksto ng ginagawa mong study? For example, sa school, no? Lagi ko sinasabi sa mga teachers, pag hindi ko nakikita yung gap of the study, ma'am, sir, ano pong connection nitong paper mo sa current situation na nangyayari dito sa ating school? Let's say, for example, to my dear students, di ba? Kung kayo ay gagawa ng study, you need to identify kung ano yung current situation na nangyayari within your strand. If you're a TBL student, ano yung current situation na nangyayari within your gap, kaya nag-lead ka sa study na yan. Now, hindi magiging ganun kalalim, hindi magiging ganun ka-supplemental yung study mo pag hindi mo siya naibaba sa gap. Pag hindi mo na i-connect or na ipakita kung ano yung current situation na nangyayari, no, within the level. Eh, sabi nga natin, ba't mo pa ginagawa yung research paper na yan, di ba? Kung hindi naman siya maibababa doon sa level ng ginagalawan mo po. So that's according to Dodowski 2020. It generally supports the questions, dalawa, according to Bueno, what are you doing? Ano ba yung ginagawa mo? Kung sabi nga, sa mga hugot lines, kung tama man ako, sabi dyan anong ginagawa mo? Ginagawa mo. Applicable din yan dito. Ano ba yung ginagawa mong research na yan? At higit sa lahat, bakit mo ginagawa ang research na yan? So now, itong mga questions na ito, no, should be answered sa background of the problem pa lang. Diba? Makita na kaagad ng mga readers natin, especially ng mga nag-check nating mga research teachers, no, kung ano at bakit mo ginagawa yung research na yan. This information provides the reader with the essential context needed to understand the research problem and its significance. Diba? Upon reading the background of the problem or maybe the introduction part, no? Take note before I forget, no? Siguro sa ibang institution, ang format na ginagamit baka background of the problem. May mga institutions na itong background of the problem incorporated na siya sa introduction part. Kasi baka mamaya ma-confuse, mamaya nagre-research, sir, ba't parang wala naman po background of the problem dito sa mga nakikita kong related literature or research, di ba? Now, it depends on the format of the institution. Depende po yan sa kung ano yung format na piniprescribe ng school. Pero kalimitan po personally, based on my own experience, yung background of the problem is always incorporated with the introduction part. So, going back, no? Dito pa lang sa introduction or background of the problem, at least makita na, mabasa na, at maintindihan na ng mga readers, no? Especially ng mga teachers, kung bakit kailangan gawin tong research na to. Anong significance nito pagka naging successful or kaya kapag ginawa itong research na ito. And at the same time, anong connection nito sa nakaraan? That is what we call the history part, di ba? Now, background information can also include summaries of important, relevant research studies. Kaya nga sa introduction part pa lang, kailangan, sabi nga, supplemental na siya in the sense na maglagay na kaagad tayo ano yung mga related studies, di ba? Na pwede nating gamitin para mas maging matibay, para mas maintindihan ng mga readers itong ginagawa natin na paper. It serves as a bridge, tulay, no? Connection that links the reader to the topic of your study. Upon reading the introduction part, maiintindihan na kagad ng mga reader, so this is the context kung bakit itong estudyanteng ito, itong researcher na to, ay ginagawa niya itong kanyang study. Mauunawaan na kagad. It is a link. It is a bridge para mas maintindihan ng mabuti yung topic. Now, the length and detail depends on the degree to which you need to demonstrate how much you understand the research problem. Now, kasi minsan depende po. I know some of my co-educators here, no? Yung mga research enthusiasts natin maybe will agree on what I'm saying. Na minsan depende nga sa pine-prescribe ng institution yung background of the problem or yung introduction part. Let's say, for example, nung ako ay nag-aaral ng aking doctorate at nagsusulat ng aking dissertation, doon sa institution namin, ang sabi doon, kailangan 15 related literatures international, 15 Asian, then we have 15 local. Ang sinasabi natin dito, hindi naman din kailangang sobrang haba ng introduction part or ng background of the problem na doon na lang nag-concentrate yung paper. Hindi yun ang sinasabi natin. So, depende sa length, depende sa hinihingi ng pagkakataon kung gaano kadami yung kailangan mong ilagay ng mga related literature doon sa introduction part. Now, we need to consider these questions also. Diba? So, ano sabi dito? Are there concepts, terms, theories, or ideas that may be unfamiliar to the reader and thus require additional explanation? Kasi naman, baka mamaya naman, di ba? Gumagamit tayo ng mga konsepto, gumagamit tayo ng mga terminolohiya, gumagamit tayo ng mga theory na, yes, alam natin na it is something new to the readers, di ba? Lalo't baka tayo lang nakakaalam yan. Pero napakahalaga din na at least yung mga readers natin ay mabibigyan natin ng additional explanation para kahit sila ay makaka-connect doon sa research problem, doon sa research paper na ginagawa mo po. Sa pamagitan ng pagpapaliwanag. Ano bang ibig sabihin nitong konsepto na ito? Ano ba tong theory na ito? Ano ba tong idea na to? Kasi kung hindi rin maintindihan ng reader, ng teacher, sabi nga, yung research paper na ginagawa natin, mawawalan sila ng interest na basahin yun. Diba? Are there historical elements that need to be explored in order to provide needed context to highlight specific people, issues, or events, or to lay a foundation for understanding the emergence of a current issue or event? Let's say, for example, no, if you are a UMS student and you want to work on the perception of UMS students on their employability skills to seek decent employment and career development. Actually, not so much history ito, pero how about the data? You may use the data laid by SWS survey, for example, no, about the employment rate as of now, especially during this pandemic. Diba sabi ko sa inyo, gap, maibaba sa current situation. Ilan bang mga UMS graduate ang nagkakaroon ng chance na ma-employ ngayon, especially this pandemic na nagkakatanggalan sa mga trabaho. So, now yung idea na yun, and at the same time yung data na yun, ay pwede nating magamit upon writing, no, our research paper. Now, are there also theories, concepts, or ideas borrowed from other disciplines or academic traditions that may be unfamiliar to the reader and therefore require further explanation? Example, if we have here TVL students and you want to work on the academic performance of TVL students in general mathematics subjects, maybe you need to explain or sabi nga pasadahan yung academic performance ng mga STEM students sa math. Yung academic performance ng mga UMS students natin, etc. So at least, di ba, nadadamay natin, napapahapyawan natin, napapasadahan natin yung ibang mga academic strand, samantalang ang concentration natin is yung academic performance ng TVL students sa general mathematics. So may paliwanag natin dapat yun para hindi maging vague, para hindi maging malabo, para magkaroon ng bridge, para magkaroon ng connection doon sa ginagawa natin. Now, in writing the background of the problem, ito, isa rin sa lagi nating sinasabi, para at least maengganyo mo ang mga audience mo, maengganyo mo ang mga readers mo, always start your background of the problem in a catchy statement. Hindi ko sinasabi dito na sobrang pagka-arte-arte, sobrang pagkahaba-haba nung first statement ng introduction part mo or ng background of the problem part mo. Pero sinasabi natin dito, no? Pagbasa pa lang doon sa first part, sa first sentence, alam mo yung wow. Di ba yung mapapawaw siya in a sense na magkakaroon siya ng interest na ituloy-tuloy basahin yung paper mo. Hindi yung sa simula pa lang, napakapalasak na kagad ang ginamit mo. Baka yung paper mo hindi na binasa. Next na kagad, ayaw na basahin yung paper mo. As much as possible, no? Let's start the background of the problem in a catchy statement. Para at least makatch mo na kaagad yung attention ng mga co-students mo, ng mga teachers mo, ng research teacher mo, no? Place your research problem in a context of either a current hot area. So what does hot area means, no? Ang sinasabi natin dito, kasi baka yung ginagawa mong paper is something na napapanahon. Especially, ang dami po natin ngayon ng mga lumalabas na mga studies, research paper na laging kaugnay sa pandemic. Di ba? And pandemic is something, a hot area. Kasi yan yung talagang not a current but a global issue na nangyayari sa ngayon. Or maybe, no, you can place your research problem in a context of an older area. Ano yung sinasabi natin dito? Baka nga kasi, itong ginagawa mong paper, itong ginagawa mong study is something na nagawa na before. Kaya lang, paiiktingin na lang natin. Di ba? Papalamanan na lang natin, and at the same time, ma-relate na lang natin sa kung ano yung current perspective, kung ano yung current situation. Provide a brief but historical background. Provide a contemporary context, and at the same time, no, you need to identify your target audience. Although sinasabi natin na ako, in my own perspective, no, isa sa mga training na napagdaanan ko, ang sabi, hanggat maaari, no, kung posible, wag na daw ilagay kung sino yung audience mo doon sa title. Kasi pag naman nagsulat ka ng statement of the problem, mababanggit naman na kung sino yung audience mo talaga. Diba? Pero at least, in the introduction part or the background of the problem, at least na-identify mo, no? Nabanggit mo kung sino ba talaga ang target audience mo. For example, target audience mo, yung mga ABM students, no? For example, ang target mo, yung mga UMS students, STEM students. It's very important. Ito po, meron po akong example, no? Hindi naman siya sobrang catchy, pero at least hindi siya palasak. Now, the title of the study is Attitude of Grade 12 ABM Students Towards Speaking in English. And ito yung nakita ko na introduction part niya na something catchy for me. English as the global language has undoubtedly dignified its standing in global communication, essentially targeting both oral and written skills. So ito yung sinasabi natin na example, no, ng catchy line na pwede nating gamitin upon writing and upon constructing the background of the problem. Diba? Hindi naman kailangan sobrang arte, pero something catchy na pag binasa ng mga readers, pag binasa ng research teacher mo, mapapaganon siya, di ba? Wow. Oh, at least magtutuloy-tuloy ngayon na basahin niya yun. Now, sabi ko nga may mga hugot lines tayo dito, no? I have here a hugot line related to the background of the problem. Pwede po kayong mag-disagree kung kayo po ay hindi pabor sa aking sinasabi. Pero sabi nga, bago ka makisangkot sa isang kwento, alamin mo muna ang konteksto ng mga kaganapan kagaya ng background of the problem. Now, ano ba talaga ang concentration ng background of the problem? Kaya nga sinabing background. Kasi di ba, hinahanap natin dito, pinapakita natin dito, yung proper context of the paper, of your research study in relation to the past literatures, in relation to the past studies. Now, always remember, hindi parehas ang RRL at ang background of the problem. Kasi iba naman na po yung RRL. Yung RRL ay talagang dyan na po yung full-blown discussion ng mga related literature. Yung dito sa introduction part, yes, we are using related literature, pero parang binibigyan mo lang sila ng, kumbaga, foretaste, patikim, sabi nga, doon sa gagawin mong paper na may kaugnayan sa mga research literature or studies na nagawa na before. So that's the background of the problem. Next, let's have this conceptual framework. According to Swain, it illustrates what you expect to find through your research, which defines the relevant variables. Now, ano na naman ang keyword natin dito? The keyword here is variable. Relevant variables. Upon reading this, no, upon defining the conceptual framework, makikita natin that on this part, we are trying to relate the variables on each other. Kasi hindi pa pwedeng itong variable na ito, for example, ay walang kaugnayan doon sa isang variable. Magkakaroon po tayo ng problem sa study natin kung later on makikita natin na walang kaugnayan yung mga variable na pinag-aagamit natin sa isa't isa. Additional to that, kaya nga pag halimbawa tayo ay nagsulat ng statement of the problem, I think, no? For example, sa first question, demographic profile. Sinasabi ko rin to sa mga estudyante and at the same time sa mga co-teachers ko na nagpapacheck. Kung hindi naman na po significant or mahalaga yung demographic profile ng respondents, baka naman pwedeng wag na nating isama. Kasi imbis na mapadali yung trabaho mo, ma-identify ka agad yung solution, baka mamaya gumulo, kasi makikita natin upon, di ba, the study, upon doing the research, wala naman palang kaugnayan yung age, wala naman palang kaugnayan yung years of service doon sa ibang variable. Okay? Now, it presents the researcher's own way of understanding and concepts based upon the previous readings and experiences relative to the field or focus of investigation. Now, sa conceptual framework, hindi pa rin dyan maaalis, or maybe in theoretical framework, hindi pa rin dyan maaalis yung related literature. Mamaya makita natin kung paano yun. It also elaborates the research problem in relation to the relevant literature. And also, conceptual framework is called research paradigm. Now, what's the difference between conceptual and theoretical framework? Now, kasi pag sinabi natin theoretical framework, from the root word, theory, di ba? Theory, a much broader scale of resolution, dwells on time-tested theories. Bakit time-tested theories na to? Sabi nga niluma na to ng panahon. Proven and tested na po ito. Hindi mo na po pwedeng pagdudahan ito kasi bukod sa niluma na ng panahon, it is proven and tested, that embody the findings of numerous investigations on how a certain phenomena occur. Bakit nangyayari itong mga kaganapan na ito? Bakit nangyayari itong mga phenomena na ito? Yan ang ipinapaliwanag sa theoretical framework. It provides a general representation of relationship between things in a given phenomenon. Anong keyword natin dito? Phenomena. On the other hand, conceptual framework describes the relationship between specific variables identified in the study. According to Daes, he added that conceptual framework outlines the input, process, and output. Sa mga basic research, we are using the IPO, di ba? Sometimes, we are using the IVDV, di ba? The independent and dependent variable. We are identifying on how the concepts, how the variables are related to each other. Paano yun, sir? Let's have it here an example. Ito ay isang theory, di ba? Elicit, di ba yung, di ba, na ginagamit natin, stimulus, elicit, ibinaba mo siya sa conceptual frame, flip classroom, improves academic performance. So yung una, we use the theory. I forgot kung anong theory na yan. O magaling sa science. Pero may theory po yan eh. Yang sa stimulus elicit response. Maybe kung may mga science dito, pwede po comment sa chat box kung ano po theory na ito. Natin. Pag sa theory, at meron tayong response. Pero pag into a certain concept, ano yung stimulus dyan? We have here the flip classroom. At ano naman yung response doon sa certain stimulus or stimuli? Academic performance. Natin that academic performance can be improved of flip class. So yun yung sinasabi ng theoretical na conceptual. Ito naman yung example nating is, diba? Is output, the IPO. We have here the correspondence. We have here teachers burnout. For example, ako sa process using the MBI ES survey, no? Or the Maslow burnout inventory survey. Then apply the music. Then we use the statistical treatment and data analysis, which is another discussion. We have the frequency, the percentage, the mean, and the paired t-test. So ano ang output? Proposed music and wellness program for teachers burnout. Now, itong pinapakita ko po na ito ito po yung aking ginamit na IPO doon sa aking paper during my masteral days, no? Yung aking music therapy technique. Okay po. Now, another hugot. Sabi nga dito yan bang mga kwento mo ay kagaya ng framework of the study? Galing sa ibang tao, pero pawang katotohanan ang nilalahad at nakakatulong. Kasi from the word framework, di ba, when we are writing our research, ito yung aangklahan mo Ito yung isa sa babalik-balikan mo. Pag halimbawa parang hindi mo na nakikita yung connection na ginagawa mo, balikan mo yung framework of the study mo. Kasi kaya nga siya framework, ito yung pinaka parang haligi. Ito yung sasandalan mo. Ito yung isa sa aangklahan mo para hindi ka malilito, hindi ka maliligaw sa ginagawa mong study. Okay? So yan ang ating aangklahan when we are doing or writing our research paper, the framework of the study. And lastly, we have this research hypothesis. According to Malcolm, it is a statement that can be tested by scientific research. It states your predictions about what your research will find. Meron ka na prediction, diba? Pero again, it is not just a guess. Hindi ito hula-hula barabay. Hindi ito hula, no? Laging meron itong scientific basis kasi dumaan ito sa step-by-step process. Hindi ito basta hinulaan mo na lang na, siguro ganito yung mangyayari sa aking paper. Ganito yung mangyayari sa aking study. No. It is a tentative answer. Bakit tentative? Ba't hindi pa permanent or hindi pa final? Kasi nga iti-test pa. And later on, dyan papasok ngayon kung we are going to accept your hypothesis or not. It is testable. It also has to be testable. Okay? Now, we have here a null and alternative hypothesis. And usually, sabi nga natin, ang ginagamit natin is null hypothesis. Nung ako ay nagagawa ng aking paper, isa sa aking tanong, bakit laging null hypothesis ang ginagamit sa hypothesis part? Then upon researching, upon asking to my professors, ang sabi nila, kasi nakasanayan na natin gawin yung null hypothesis kasi di ba ang null hypothesis is denial of the statement, which is more easier to accept or reject compared doon sa alternative hypothesis. Now, ano ba tong null and alternative? When we say null hypothesis is a general statement stating that there is no significant difference, stating that there is no significant relationship between two or more variables. For example, there is no significant relationship between the reading comprehension and academic performance. There is no significant difference between the pre-test and post-test of students using flipped classroom. So, laging no significance, no? No significant difference, no significant relationship. Unlike yung alternative, ito naman yung positive side, stating that there is significant difference, stating that there is significant relationship between two or more variables. There is significant relationship between the reading comprehension and academic performance. There is significant difference between the pre-test and post-test of students using flipped classroom, etc., etc. And sabi nga natin, no, kapag ang ating resulta ng study is nagpakita ng significant difference, then anong gagawin natin ngayon sa hypothesis? Reject the null hypothesis. May mga computation pa po yan. Diba po? Pag naman nagpakita yung ating study, the results show that there is insignificant difference, then accept the null hypothesis. Now, sabi nga natin kanina, kung isa sa inaangklahan natin is yung framework of the study, hypotheses are based on the statement of the problem. Kasama po yan, no? Yun nga lang sa statement of the problem, patanong. Pero dito sa hypothesis kasi, statement. Hypothesis must be grounded in the framework of the study as well. And at the same time, hypothesis must be concrete and clear. Kailangan malinaw, kailangan klaro, so that it will be an objective one. Kasi kung hindi klaro yung hypothesis natin, kailangan related yung mga variables. Kung hindi klaro si hypothesis, then hindi tayo magkakaroon ng objective evaluation sa nais nating makita or makita. Now, sabi nga, bago ka magbitaw ng mga salita at kwento, siguraduhin mo muna na kagaya yan ng isang hypothesis. Dapat objective, hindi subjective.
Hello po, excuse me po.
Yes po.
Sir, yung time po natin.
Okay po. Sige po. Nasa last slide na po ako. Okay. So according to Robert Sawyer, the heart and soul of good writing is research. You should write not what you know, but what you can find out about. Upon writing, hindi sarili natin ay pinapahayag natin. Hindi yung competency na mayroon tayong ipinapahayag natin o yung ipinapakita natin. Kasi sabi nga natin, in all aspects, we are just instruments, no? Maaaring tayo ay instrumento lamang sa paggawa ng ating mga research para mabigyan ng karampatang solusyon, mabigyan ng karampatang intervention yung mga problemang nangyayari sa ating paligid. Maaari nangyayaring problema sa ating bansa. So sana, upon writing, lagi tayo maging humble and at the end, yung intervention ang target natin. No? Hindi yung masabi nilang, ang galing-galing mo naman magsulat ng research. Hindi. Hindi po yun ang ating target. Kundi ma-identify kung ano ang solution na pwede nating gawin at ibigay sa problemang nais nating bigyang focus. So with that, pasensya na po, medyo tumagal po. But anyway, thank you very much po.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. So, can you hear me, Doc?
Naririnig po. Ang dami na pala chat dito. Hanggang 7 lang po to. Actually, ano po, please bear with me. Nag-timer din po ako. Dito sa aking timer, 41 minutes pa lang. Kaya lang, ang problem lang kasi medyo late din tayo nakapag-start po. So, pasensya na rin po kung umabot po ng medyo past 7. Anyway, thank you.
Okay lang po yun. Okay lang po yun, sir, kasi talagang nakaka-enjoy naman talaga yung pakikinig at talagang eager kayo to share your knowledge, to our audience natin o yung mga Thank you so much, Dr. Santiago. I am sure that all our participants and even I have learned a lot from your lecture. I think it is the first and most important thing to consider in a research. The lecture may be considered as the foundation, and like what I've read, it is like the foundation of a building to be constructed. You deserve a clap. Palakpakan natin si Doc. And may I request Ma'am Myra to show the certificate? Present the certificate for our speaker. Thank you so much, Doc Myra. And I'll be reading the citation. Research Talk, an initiative of Beyond Books Publication, Macabebe, Pampanga, Philippines. Certificate of recognition is presented to Dr. Riogel L. Santiago for being the research speaker during the Beyond Books Publication Research Talks for 3 Eyes, Inquiries, Investigation, and Immersion, with the team identifying the problem and asking questions. The first part 1 by a Google Meet, given this 24th day of March 2021, signed by the CEO, President of Beyond Books Publication, Dionilo B. Capulso. A virtual applause for our speaker, Dr. Santiago. Thank you so much, Ma'am Myra, and Dr. Myra. Thank you so much, Dr. Santiago. And now, this is the part, the most important part for me. Kinakabahan ka na ba, Doc? Anyway, I'm sure,
Napapangiti na nga lang po ako eh.
yeah, I'm sure that you can answer the questions kasi po, talagang eager ka sa pagtuturo. And if you have an additional understanding, our topic and discussion, you can tap the raise hand and be acknowledged, unmute your microphone, and you can ask our speaker your question. You can also send your message on the chat box. And now, sino po ang gusto mo magtanong?
Sir Lijan. Sir Lijan.
Yes.
Paki-recognize po yung group natin for the very successful webinar tonight. Tsaka yung pong yung ano po, saan po nila makikita yung evaluation? Kasi may nagtatanong po sa evaluation po natin.
Yes po, later po after po ng ating
And one last request po, sir.
Yes,
one last request po. Pa-picture daw po for documentation po sa mga viewers po natin. Kasi last time nakalimutan po.
Thanks so much to all our viewers. Sunod-sunod na po yan. The evaluation link I think will be sent. Last time ang nag-send po, I don't know if Dr. Myra or Ma'am Leia yung nag-send ang evaluation link. And after our question, the question po, we will proceed to the evaluation, and of course, after that, we will recognize all the members. And now, question muna po tayo. Wala po pong nagtatanong.
May mga tanong po ba tayo? Tulog na po yata. Nakatulog yata. Ayun, may nakita kong tanong. May link po ba for the certificate? Jo?
Yes, isi-send po ng ating ID yung mga ganyan. Ito, sir, there's a question coming from Jinky Belibestre. Sir, I'd like to ask if ito na sir, I'd like to ask if what would be a good title if my research is about glossophobia of the college student.
Okay, please bear with me. Yung glossophobia is something vague sa akin. What is it? Let me search kung ano yung glossophobia. Kasi hindi naman po ako ganun kagalingan sa English. Sabi nga, let's admit our weakness. Ano po yung glossophobia na yan? Sorry po hindi po ako ganun po sa English na. Hindi ganun, sobrang lawak yung aking vocabulary. Let me just see. Public speaking anxiety. Thank you, Ma'am Jinky. Pwede naman po, kaya lang siguro baka masyado pa pong, hindi ko sinasabing mababaw po, pero hindi pa po siya substantial. No? Baka meron pa tayong mas maisip na mas magandang question. And personally po ako nga, sabi ko nga ako personally, pag nag-construct ng question, and ito ay galing sa ibang tao, for example, yung research paper ay ipapacheck sa akin, sir, ito yung title ko, okay na po ba ito? I will read first the introduction part. Kasi baka mamaya, and sabi nga natin, research writing is something, creativity. Diba? Kailangan creative tayo dito. Upon reading the introduction part, personally in my point of view, saka ako mas nakaisip ng better ideas in constructing a specific research title based from the introduction part. Pwede naman siguro, sabi ko nga, posible naman yan kung ano man yung term na yan, Pero for me, parang something lacking pa. Parang may kulang pa. Parang meron pa akong something na hinahanap pa na pwede natin ilagay doon sa title. Pero but then again, it depends on your context and perspective na makikita ko dun sa introduction part. Pero pwede po yan. Palalawakin lang po natin.
Yes, thank you so much. I think, thank you so much, Ma'am Jinky, for the question. Talagang, Doc, yung public speaking anxiety na yan, even before, even in the earliest time po talaga nagiging problema yan. And that's a good topic for Ma'am Jinky Silvestre. May Ma'am Jinky Silvestre, no? So, ano kaya yung magiging good title niya? Siguro po, pwede niyong mag-send a message kay Doc para makapag-suggest siya ng magandang title sa iyo. Thank you so much, Ma'am Jinky. I hope Doc Santiago answered your question. And from Jasmine Grace Franco de Guzman, no more questions po. Napakagaling po nito. Thank you so much for that. And this one, coming from Elijah Luis Tanay, can you recommend easy topics for senior high school students which can be accomplished in one semester? That's for senior high school students. Again, sir, can you recommend topics?
I think parang same person yata. Ay, hindi, iba pala. Okay. Iba pala yung nagtanong. Easy topic for me na pwedeng matapos within one semester siguro. Usually naman, sa mga nakikita ko na mga topics na ginagawa ng mga senior high school or related to senior high school is more on academic performance of students in a specific strand. Pero alam mo, maganda talaga ngayon, since sabi natin no, we are looking for the gap. Let us always, not always rather, pero as much as possible, napakaganda kasi no, lalo ang konteksto ng panahon natin ngayon, pandemya. Pati ang edukasyon ay sobrang apektado. At pag sinabing apektado, hindi lang teachers, even the students. Siguro ako personally, kung makakapag-suggest ako ng isang topic na isang semester ay pwedeng matapos, siguro pa pwedeng mag-concentrate doon sa effectivity, I think, ng learning modalities na ino-offer during this pandemic. Kasi ang gandang pag-aralan kung yung ganitong setup ba, pumapatok ba yung mode, yung online, baka naman there's a need talaga na sa face-to-face o hindi pa pwede nga. So, I think pwede yun, no? Marami tayong mga related literature ngayon na pwedeng makita. Kasi nga, marami nang gumagawa ng mga pandemic setup. So, ako, for me, I think in one semester, yung learning, no, kung effective by learning modality na ino-offer within a specific strand in this time of pandemic. Pero marami pa pong iba. Tayo syempre para mas lalo pang lumawak yung ating perspective at makakuha rin tayo ng ideas sa mga pwede nating i-incorporate. Ayun ay aking own perspective.
Nakapag-recommend ka. Thank you so much, Doc. I think Elijah, sana po na nasagot namin. We will go for a question or pag-suggest si Doc. No? And I think that's right. Kailangan yung kasi ano natin sa Doc. We can request your certificate po from Beyond Books publication po. And I think send it to sila ng link dito sa ating Google Meet. We're just waiting for the Google sa link last time po and then ating link. Yan. May question naman po tayo. And thank you so much. Next question coming from Suya Alejandro. Specific formula can be used in this experimental research.
What specific
Specific formula
formula can
But
be
before
used
po,
in
yes, bago po
experimental.
yun,
Okay.
bago po masagot ito
I think
yun,
ito pong ito pong tanong na to ay pwede pong sagutin ng ating, I think parang meron pong separate topic for that. Kasi yung formula kasi, lalo may nakita rin po akong tanong dito, Sir Lijan. Sabi dito is, hanapin ko yun. Yung ano pa yung mas maganda, qualitative or quantitative research? Depende kasi sa topic natin yan. Depende sa scope natin yan. So I will not say na mas maganda si qualitative. Mas maganda gamitin si quantitative, or rather mag-recommend ng specific formula for an experimental research kasi minsan nakadepende ito sa scope. Lalo po yung qualitative, di ba? Kung ang ating study ay talaga nangailangan ng mas maraming observation, mas maraming pagtatanong, then do the qualitative research. Pero kung yung ating study ay nangangailangan ng data from numbers, then do the quantitative research. Pero personally, kung akong tatanungin mo po, kung ano ang mas madaling gamitin, I will suggest quantitative. Lalo po, no? Ang qualitative kasi ay highly recommended kung ikaw ay isang researcher na talagang napakalawak ng iyong vocabularies. Kasi dyan talaga iiral sa qualitative yung pagiging magaling natin sa pagtatanong, yung art of questioning, pag-i-interview, pagko-construct, and at the same time, ang mahirap kasi sa qualitative is the coding. I know Dr. Doy will agree with me, isa sa mahirap sa qualitative part is yung coding. No, hindi lahat ng research is actually talaga na perfect yung part na yon. Kaya, mas marami ang mga researchers na mas pinipili ang quantitative. Now, under quantitative, may mga iba't iba na naman tayong statistical treatment. So, kung yung tanong is, ano pong magandang statistical treatment, it depends on the topic. It depends on the context. Mamaya magsabi ako na gamitin natin is t-test, hindi pala applicable doon sa for example, sa hypothesis mo kasi ang ina-identify mo, significant relationship, hindi papasok. Kasi sa paggawa ng research, sabi nga natin, kailangan tuhog. From the very moment, from the very beginning, hanggang sa dulo, tuhog yan. Pag may isang lumiko, sabi nga na parte dyan, hindi magiging consistent yung research natin. So, ganun din yung sa aking sagot doon sa what is specific formula. Siguro maglahad muna tayo kung ano yung topic, ano yung konteksto, ano yung variables. Bago tayo makapag-suggest kung ano yung specific formula ang ating gagamitin sa experimental research. And kung di po ako nagkakamali, we will have a separate discussion or topic regarding experimental research. Kaya yun po yung abangan natin. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Arlene kanina, habang tumatagal, mas lumalalim ang ating discussion. So aabot tayo sa puntong we are going to discuss the experimental research and the formulas that we need, the formulas that we will use, the different statistical treatment used in research making. Yan pa.
Thank you so much. Salamat po, Doc. And para sa ating mga viewers po at participants, andito na po yung link. Kung nakikita niyo po, it was sent by Dr. Myra Flores. Thank you so much. This is our evaluation. So sabi, pwede pong malaman yung Facebook account. Ano po ang FB page? Yung FB page po natin is Beyond Books Publication. Beyond Books Publication. Dr. Myra, thank you so much. Our ID. Kung pwede pong pakisend na rin po yung link sa ating comment page para makita mga kasama. And I think wala na po tayong question. And now, let us proceed to the next part ng ating evaluation. Evaluation na po tayo. So, you just have to take link po yan. Kung makikita nyo po sa screen natin, This is HTTPS slash forms CLE. Ayan po, just click it, then you'll have the evaluation link form para mabuksan ito. And it was sent by Dr. Myra. Thank you so much. And we're just only waiting po for Ma'am Myra to send the link sa ating details sa mga chat box. Okay. And now, okay. Tayo sa evaluation sa question. We have already presented the certificate of appreciation to Dr. Riogel Santiago, our speaker. Lakpakan naman natin na virtual applause. And first, I'd like to say special thanks to the following. Of course, to all our participants in this webinar series. Ito, the technical working group. We have Ms. Maria Teresita Calapis, Mr. J. Ben Lachon. Thank you so much. Sir J. Ben yung nag-satisfied na mag-assist natin. Of course, I'm your facilitator, the John B. Alfonso, and Ms. Leia K. Thank you so much. Like also thanks Dr. Cyril Galang. Thank you so much for your assistance. Dr. Catherine Miranda, Dr. Riogel Santiago, our speaker for today, Dr. Myra Flores, Attorney Jewel Nanes, Dr. Arlene P. Carlos, and of course, the president of Beyond Books Publication, Dr. Ganilo P. Palakpakan naman na. And now, for our closing remarks, may I request Dr. Leonilo Capuzzo once again.
So good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so once again, I would like to congratulate our speaker, Dr. Rio, for that very insightful sharing. Thank you also to Sir Lijan for facilitating to our technical working group and to our participants for patriotising our research talks. To all the teachers and students, let us continue to learn the importance and value of research as we face the new normal in education. Please share our Facebook group, Beyond Books Publication, our YouTube channel, Beyond Books Publication TV. These talks that we have had for Practical Research 1 and 3 Eyes will can be revisited in our YouTube channel for especially when the class starts. So our facilitator, moderator, Sir Lijan, and our speaker, Dr. Rio, were emphasizing earlier that this is in complement to the lessons and the modules that the Department of Education is providing our students and even to private schools. And you are always willing, we are always willing to help you. You could still cast your questions in our YouTube channel or Facebook group page so that we can continue to learn together. So once again, thank you very much for joining us. Keep safe everyone and mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Capuzzo. So, Dr. Riogel, meron pa ba tayong gustong sabihin bago tayo magpaalam sa mga mag-aaral natin, sa mga natin?
Okay, una po sa lahat, actually nagpapasalamat ako sa Panginoon Diyos, no? for giving me this wisdom to share. And kanina nga may binabasa akong message doon sa chat box. Ang isa na lang yung nasabi ko rin, no? Actually, wala namang talagang magaling. Kasi ang magaling lang naman ay ang ating Panginoon. Siguro kung nakakapagbahagi man tayo dito sa virtual meeting, sa ganitong webinar, or maybe in face-to-face seminar, we are just the instrument of our Lord para sa kanyang greater glory, and at the same time, para maibahagi itong wisdom na to sa ibang tao. No? Pangalawa, nagpapasalamat po ako sa Beyond Books Publishing, especially to Dr. Doy for giving me this opportunity to share my little knowledge, no, about research making. Maraming salamat po, no, sa lahat ng bumubuo ng BBP, sa lahat ng members ng BBP Technical Working Group. Thank you very much, no. And especially po sa ating mga viewers, sa ating mga participants, no. Sabi nga itong Beyond Books Publishing na to ay hindi to magpapatuloy, hindi to magwo-work kung hindi dahil sa suporta po ninyo, no. At asahan nyo po na sa abot ng aming makakaya ay patuloy pa po naming gagawin ang aming serbisyo sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng talk na I think makakatulong sa bawat isa, especially sa mga students natin dito, na makagawa ng isang research na hindi lang for compliance sa kanilang PR1 or 3I subject, kundi ang gagawin nating research paper is something na makakatulong, something na makakapagbigay solusyon sa problemang kinakaharap marahil ng school natin, at kung iaangat pa natin yan, maaaring makatulong sa ating bansa. So, to God be the glory, palakpakan natin ang bawat isa. Salamat.
I would like to request all our participants and the team to please open your camera. Open your camera for our for the photo opportunity. Ayan, nakita na natin sa mga nagtatanong regarding sa link ng Beyond Books Publication. Ayan po, nakita nyo nasa message na po, nasa chat box. If you want to just click the link. Ayan po. Okay. Please open your your camera, lahat po tayo. So much. I-open lang po ng camera natin para magkaroon tayo ng magandang view. Once again,
Sir Lijan,
yes, sir.
let's also ask permission from our participants that if we could post the pictures in the Facebook page, they just have to raise their hand using the emoticons below, or they could personally raise their hand so that they know that we are posting. This is for documentation purposes only.
Yes, sir. I almost forgot po. Anyway, your picture, there's a request coming from the president and so with the team. Please click the raise hand if you are in favor of posting our photos in our page. And ganun din po sa recording natin, yung pagpo-post ng recording natin sa YouTube, sa Facebook Live. Okay. Chat na po natin. Thanks so much for your cooperation. Pag-raise na po yung mga. Marami-rami naman po, sir. Thanks so much for your cooperation. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. I hope that you've learned a lot. And thank you so much once again from Beyond Books Publication. Magkikita-kita po tayo muli sa susunod. At marami pa tayong mga webinar series. And I am sure that you will learn a lot coming from our speakers. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Myra.